Tensions between the United States and China are escalating. The Trump administration shows no sign of slowing down. Sarah Montez de Oca joins us with the details. Sarah, we know President Trump does not like to lose, and it looks like he's started to try to counter some of those potential losses in his talks with China.
That's right, Scotty. President Trump's trade wars with countries like China and Canada, it seems like President Trump is just looking to compensate for some of his losses. President Trump met with Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe at the UN General Assembly on Wednesday. They agreed to start negotiations to promote bilateral trade. The two countries agreed to work together to seek ways to solve any tariff-related issues. Abe noted, "We must by no means turn back the clock. In fact, we need to be more active in trade investments to build on this relationship." And earlier this week, Trump signed a first and major trade agreement with South Korea. Following this meeting, the president said that he plans on holding a second summit with North Korea in the near future, a commitment that South Korea's Moon Jae is and has been looking for. He claims the details will be announced pretty soon. While Trump planned on meeting with members of the EU to discuss trade, he lashed out on European trade policies this week, saying that they're worse than China. In what was likely a rebuke to Trump, French President Macron said yesterday that the French will only consider trade deals with countries who signed the Paris Climate Accord. This can technically be interpreted as sanctions against the U.S., but President Trump pulled out of that agreement just last year. Although Macron did not mention President Trump by name, Macron did reject Trump's strategy on Iran and his trade deal overall. He also said that bilateral agreements, new protectionisms, will not work, but many Americans are concerned.
Well, I mean, he has the deal with South Korea, of course. It was essentially a revamp of the Obama South Korean free trade deal. So that's one. But look, he's ostracizing people left and right. The U.S. has been known for pushing its weight around as the 800-pound gorilla. But quite frankly, a lot of nations around the U.S., you could tell earlier in the week at the UN, we were giggling at the president. So rather than the 800-pound gorilla, the president has become somewhat of a chimpanzee. And that's unfortunate because there's so much important work to do. I hope we get it done. I hope we get better trade deals. But right now, it really remains unclear, uncertain, and I am not, frankly, optimistic about the circumstance.
Meanwhile, Trump slammed Canada over their NAFTA negotiations. The president claimed that he rejected a one-on-one meeting with Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, saying that his tariffs are just too high. But Trudeau denied even asking for the meeting.
I did.
Why?
Because his tariffs are too high and he doesn't seem to want to move, and I've told him forget about it. And frankly, we're thinking about just taxing cars coming in from Canada. That's the mother lode. That's the big one.
The U.S. is expected to publish a new NAFTA framework by the end of this week, except this time the trade deal will likely consist of bilateral trade between the U.S. and Mexico and exclude Canada. The Trump administration is pushing for the new trade deal to be signed by December 1st, before Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto leaves office. But Canada says that it plans to stick to NAFTA talks despite Trump's attack. Trudeau seems very optimistic about the deal, saying a good, fair deal is still very possible and that they won't sign a bad deal for Canadians. Now, Scotty, meanwhile, U.S. behavior is obviously leading some of these countries to make side deals with Canada and EU for some trade partnerships.
Well, even in President Trump's discussion yesterday, he mentioned the new name for NAFTA, which could be USM, but he didn't necessarily say he would add C onto the end of it. So very interesting as we watch.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.